a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Welcome to the restricted section, the podcast equivalent of going back to your elementary school and feeling like a brilliant giant. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry, we've done it for you. Here's what we're talking about this week. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 7, The Will of Albus Dumbledore, in which the Minister of Magic walks into a party with a deluminator, a kid's book, and a snitch. I'm your host, Christina. With me today is my friend Andrew. Say hello to the listeners, Andrew.
I prefer to not acknowledge that the toilets are in fact different size than normal toilets when I go back to my old elementary school to vote sometimes.
Oh my god, they are really small toilets.
I like to just pretend that I am a giant and then really confuse some kid by just leaving a giant... I'm just kidding, I won't do that.
Oh my god.
Andrew. Also with us today is Jason. Say hello to the listeners, Jason.
Hi. Hello, buongiorno.
Jason, sometimes you work at schools. Do you ever go into elementary school bathrooms and feel like a giant?
No. Well, it's complicated. There's like bathrooms that are very designated, like these are for children, and I usually don't go in those.
Oh, do you use the staff bathrooms?
I go into the office sometimes and ask. Oh, so yeah, I have used the teacher's bathroom, and it's just as magical as you ever dreamed it would be.
Yeah, I guess you are more like a teacher than you are a student.
There was one bathroom I thought, it was just kind of funny how, like, this was a kid's bathroom, but it was absolutely the most impenetrable fortress ever. Because, like, it had a two-door system. You had to go through one door, and then you had to go through a separate door. The door to, like, the actual, like, what am I trying to think of? The stall. There was no gaps on the bottom or the top. It was a huge door that took up the entire place. Like, there was no way you could sneak in. And,
Whoa.
I've never felt safer in my life.
Whoa, interesting. That's, like, pretty high security for a school bathroom.
Yeah, and then they're pretty lax on, not to poo-poo, like, schools too much, but sometimes people are really lax about security, and then they're not. So the bathrooms are, like, a good starting point, I guess.
Dude, I promise you can get into any building on the East Coast if you just wear a Jimmy John's uniform and walk with some sense of conviction. Besides, like, the White House and maybe the Senate chambers, you can get anywhere.
I've heard the same thing about pizza delivery.
I swear to God, if you just look like you know where you're going, even if you don't have a visitor's badge, people will be like, actually, they probably
He's
know.
got pizza.
I shouldn't bother them.
They're working. They're doing something important.
He's a poor delivery driver.
A high-vis jacket, like one of those like vests like they use like with VDOT and stuff. If you have one of those and a ladder, you can do the same thing.
Or like one of the Amazon ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find those on eBay.
So, Jason, this is your first time coming on for Deathly Hallows. Tell me, where does this book lie for you in terms of like your ranking of the Harry Potter books?
It's kind of hard to say because it's a book. It's one of the books I've only read once until my brief revisit. That's not a Jason episode unless I do a little stupid thing with my mouth. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, oh my God, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so.
Do you like this book?
Yeah, it's okay. I've only read it once. It was back in college where it was around the time like the last, or I guess it was part 1 was coming out. And I was like, I should probably like finish this damn series. And I just like after Half-Blood Prince, I don't know what came over. I guess I just got distracted and I just like didn't care about Harry Potter for a little bit. But then once the movies were coming out, I was like, I should probably,
Yeah, you want to know what people are talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I had no reason not to read it. I was like, it's not like I don't like this, so I might as well do it and see how it ends. And always glad I did. Like, I think it's nice that it's one of the more mature ones, I guess, but I haven't sampled like enough to get like a full read of it. Like the second time around. I've only read a few chapters and did like plot summaries of the other ones I haven't read yet.
I mean, it definitely is more mature, but I think that's like, I don't know if it's like, what am I trying to say?
It's not adult mature, it's like teenager mature.
Yeah, like I think that it inherently matures because we just have to be wrapping shit up and like the stakes have to be higher than ever.
Right. These kids have to grow up really quick.
Yes, totally. Yeah, well, let's get into it. I mean, there's some real teenager shit happening in this chapter.
From so many sources.
Yeah. From the first illustration, it's an embrace. Oh my god, Harry Potter's so tall in the book.
Wait, let me see. I don't. Okay, wait.
111.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. He's
a good, like, maybe 6 inches taller than Ginny, or maybe even
He's certainly angling his head down to her. I've said before that, like, I don't give a shit how tall Daniel Radcliffe is, but if you have a short king, you need to embrace the fact that he's a short king. Daniel Radcliffe has the personality to be a short king. Okay, let him be short.
Yeah.
This Harry is tall. He's like ganglier than Daniel ever has been.
Just like his father.
I do like the idea that, like, as Daniel Radcliffe grew, if they had just started writing the books more towards him, as opposed to, like...
Make Harry Potter, like, canonically, like, under 6 foot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just start changing things, but not acknowledge it. Like, all of a sudden, they're talking about his blue eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Comics will do that sometimes to, like, be more accurate to the movies. They gave Spider-Man organic web shooters for a while, just to tie in with the movies.
Do you guys watch Solar Opposites?
Yeah.
When they had to replace Dan Harmon and they had this bit in the show. Wait, that's...
No, Justin Roiland.
Justin Roiland.
That jackass.
When they had to replace Justin Roiland and they had, like, a bit with, like, a voice changer.
I told you not to throw metal around here. We're going to be late to work. Stop buggering about.
Hey, does Corvo sound a little off?
This thing must not be calibrated. Let me try again.
No. This is working for me.
It's a British guy.
So it's like, well, yeah, I mean, sometimes eye colors change and, like, my eyes, they've been getting blue over the last year and now they're just blue.
Now they look like James's eyes. They could have gone on this whole, like, adventure.
You have your father's eyes?
Snape could have, like, faced some real different, like, feelings within himself.
We've talked about how Snape maybe was in love with James in the first place.
So, like
you
I
never
said,
know.
What if Snape is Harry's father?
What if Snape is James?
Oh my god.
We
cracked it open, y'all.
Oh my god. And Snape died to protecting Lily?
His
That'd
son.
be crazy.
And his own
That'd
son.
be fucking crazy.
His boy!
Oh my god.
Throughout the book, like, Harry just starts getting greasier and greasier hair, and he's like, I've washed it so many times. What is this?
That'd be like a real Darth Vader sort of thing, wouldn't it be? It's like, no, it's not true.
Look within your soul.
Such
You know it to be true.
Such your feelings, Harry. You know it to be true.
I am your father.
We start this chapter with a very brief dream where Harry / Voldemort is looking for someone in the mountains. You know, as you do. Where else are you going to find a good man?
Get yourself a nice dwarf.
Ron wakes him up and says, you were saying Grigorovich. Voldemort's looking for this guy. Harry's like trying to remember who this guy is. He thinks he's connected to Quidditch. I don't know, man. It's not connected to Quidditch.
Are you sure it's not Gorgovich?
From Quidditch?
I love the little sports joke there.
Yeah.
The highest transfer fee ever, and he also has the record for the most fumbled quaffles.
Why is that funny?
It would be like the most paid for player possible, who then went on to have a you know enough football to know what a fumble is, right?
Yeah, I know what a fumble kind of is. It's when you drop it.
Yeah, so imagine if you paid for the, like, most expensive running back trade ever, only to then have that running back go on and have the most fumbles ever.
Yeah,
so you
that's
paid
why.
like an exorbitant amount of money for a terrible player.
Yeah, that's
I
why
see.
when Harry says, "I'm definitely not thinking of Gorgovich," and Ron says, "I try not to either."
Yeah, great little
birthday.
sports joke.
Oh, okay. Thank you for explaining it to me.
You're welcome.
Also, it's Harry's birthday. Happy birthday, Harry.
Where's my kazoo? Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to settle for a harmonica. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is.
I like that you have both nearby.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So now he can do magic all willy-nilly. So he accios his glasses from a foot away and they poke him in the eye.
Yeah, let alone more evidence to that he might not be the most skilled dude. Right?
If it's a foot away, you can grab it without moving your body.
Yeah.
Your arms are longer than a foot.
Speak for yourself.
I would just do it like wizards should just like be the laziest people in the world, right? Because once you learn that spell and you're able to do it all the time, why would you like get up?
That's how we go Wally mode, honestly.
And it's apparently how you get restricted books. You just have to ask for them with an Accio spell.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I would definitely use Accio for my glasses if I like couldn't see them. That would be like a really nice spell because sometimes I drop my glasses.
Do you think you and Harry have pretty equivalent eyesight?
No, because it says in this chapter specifically, he wasn't wearing his glasses, so Ron was slightly out of focus or something similar to that. It definitely says slightly. So no, I don't think we have the same kind of vision because for me, it's like, can I see or can I not see? Those are like the two options.
Tina would kill for slightly out of focus.
Exactly. I really would.
You're just a giant orange monster.
I think my vision is corrected to only being slightly out of focus instead of fully.
Well, there we go.
It scares me that I've ridden in the car so many times with you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's really more of that
collective
feeling
horror of
when
all
you
of us.
drive than it is actually seeing.
No, I'm a good driver. You know, you learn to make up for your disabilities.
She has a great sense of smell, everyone. She
Right?
can, like, tell when she's getting close to another exhaust.
I have echolocation.
It's like, I smell brambly pears. I must be getting near the park.
He does a bit more just like bullshit magic, which like good for him. Did y'all, when you got your driver's license, just like hop right in the car no matter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
matter what,
oh
you
yeah. I
just
was like,
hop
oh
right
yeah.
in.
Do you guys need pizza? I'll go get pizza. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the car already.
Yeah. Bye! I do love the specific note that he used a spell to tie his shoes that then took several minutes to untie. Like, everything is just so bad.
The fact that he can do magic now doesn't mean he's suddenly good at it.
Right. Well, and like, I guess it wasn't him. I was about to be critical, but it was Molly that gave so much shit to Fred and George for apparating everywhere as soon as they could. And it's like the same exact thing. Like, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Ooh, we can do.
It's like you can apparate to the bathroom, but should you?
Yeah.
I would. Honestly, I probably would from bed. If you wake up in the night and you have to piss, if I don't have to put weight on my feet, then I'll probably stay a sleeper. You know what I mean?
But like, if you do a violent spinning motion in bed, there's no way you don't wake up the person next to you if you violently spin and like cause a crack.
I wonder if you have to violently spin.
That's just one of the options that a lot of obnoxious people pick.
Yeah, every wizard just does it, even though, like, oh no, you can actually just stay perfectly still. There's no need to do it.
It's like old people with like their like cell phone ringtones. It's like you can change it, right? You know that, right? This annoying ring you have on default isn't the only option, right?
It's not the only one. For Harry's birthday, Ron gives him a book about charming women.
I hate it.
Oh my god, I love. I thought that was really funny.
We love hate it. It's very funny.
Did y'all catch the dick joke? At least I hope
Yes.
it was a dick joke.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering the same thing. It's the last sentence in the description of the book, like the paragraph.
Will you read it?
Yeah. He says, he's like defending it, and he says, I've learned a lot. You'd be surprised. It's not all about wand work either.
Oh my god.
'Cause,
I'm
like-
so stupid. I don't notice anything.
Well, here's the thing. It's either a dick joke or it's really fucked up because it has a lot of like, and you could just use magic to make them fall in love with you type shit.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's not just fall in love spells and the like.
So let's hope it's a dick
let's
joke.
hope it's a dick
They
joke.
got this whole compliment about complimenting girls.
Yeah,
Game
apparently,
changer.
If you want to be with the girl, you should like treat her nice and say nice things.
If she's good at something,
What?
maybe compliment her. Douche.
What?
Nah, can't be real.
That can't be real.
I do like to think that following up on that book that like Fred and George gave Ron that book, I love to think that it was just like they're just fucking with him.
Yes, I thought the same.
It's like, yeah.
I totally.
Yeah, this is what girls like talking about. Like you listen to this.
Well, and the way that Ron comes to Harry, like, so earnestly, like, it shows some emotional growth on Harry's part that he, like, takes it very seriously. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Harry just got out of a relationship with this guy's sister, and he's definitely not over it, and he's definitely not, like, talking to women this year. Like, and that's like, just not on the schedule.
Yeah, you gotta, there's priorities right now.
There's priorities. And I wonder, like, do you think that Ron is trying really hard to encourage Harry away from Ginny?
You betcha.
Yeah, I've always
But,
kind
like,
of felt that.
It's just funny because, like, you just don't have to encourage him toward anything. He's just not into it right now.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, but like, what if? You know, what if everything turns out and then he's like, I still don't want you to date my sister, bro. Like, it's cool that we killed Voldemort and everything, but please don't.
That would be so fucked up to deprive Harry of his one happiness after all of that.
The one girl who seems to, like, genuinely like him.
Yes.
Harry should just start, like, subtly fucking with Ron, but in ways that, like, aren't direct, right? So saying things like, Ron, your family just means so much to me. I think I'm just going to start calling your mom, you know? Like, no reason. What time's Dad getting home for dinner?
That kooky dad and his muggles.
You know, Arthur and Molly just simply wouldn't notice that.
Oh, they would love it. They would love it.
I would believe that it maybe slipped out of Harry's mouth one time. Except he's not used to saying mom or dad, so...
I was just about to say he does not have the reflex like we do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's sad. Oh, so Harry's like, what am I going to do with this book? It's so funny. I love it so much. They go down to breakfast. Arthur and Molly give Harry a watch, which is a traditional wizard gift for their 17th birthdays. Mm-hmm. It's like a secondhand watch from inside the family, which is nice because he doesn't have family to hand down watches to him.
Weird little point here. Why does everything the Weasleys own have to be shitty?
Well,
Like,
they did buy Ron a new watch for his birthday. Let it be known.
I get that. But they have to make this particular watch kind of shitty and then create this entire detail about like, oh yeah, my brother didn't really take good care of it. Just let him have a decent watch.
Yeah, it's in good repair.
Yeah. There's no need for
I
it
see
to
what
be
you're
fucked
saying.
up. Like, this is
I see what you're
purely
saying.
because, like, if it's going to be from the Weasleys, it's got to be bad.
It's got to be
poor.
fucked up.
It enhances the emotional... It's a cheap ploy to enhance the emotional attachment to that because it's like, it's not even a nice watch, but it's the watch you gave me, you know?
Well, and it could have been, like, just as poignant if it was a very simple watch, right? Like, if it wasn't, like, ornate and it was very, like, you know, you could have gotten the same effect, but without it being shitty. It could have just been, like, plain.
True.
Sleek, if you will, you know?
But this was from, like, a relative, so it was probably just free, right?
Yeah, it was a hand-me-down.
Yes.
They have a wedding to pay for, guys. Come on. I think you're being a little...
If you're in a poor family, that doesn't mean that all your relatives are poor, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to do this again, but can't you just fix the watch with magic?
Yeah, you sure could. Here's my nitpick about the watch. So you're telling me that ballpoint pens are too high-tech for wizards, but watches aren't?
And watches are a customary thing to exchange to every teenager? This muggle tech?
This custom is about 150 years old. Enjoy.
I guess because
what do you mean?
it merely works on springs and cogs. It's like the least scientific thing. Or that's
But
not really
a
true.
ballpoint pen only operates on a spring and a ball. Like, that's not that high-tech.
That's too much physics for wizards. They can't handle it.
Oh my god.
Potential energy. What?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if watches came out like a few hundred years ago, there's no way that that wizards would have gotten them quicker than like what? I don't know. 200, 150 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, maybe this is a pretty recent trend, actually.
Yeah, there's no way that they've actually had watches as long as like non-magical people have.
Okay, now I see what you were saying with that time frame.
They're still really fucking stubborn about the cars thing.
Yeah, they're still using torches and
Yeah, you're right about that. They don't have light. They don't have gas lights. Maybe they do, but they never mention
A light
it.
switch, which, you know, facilitates the need of a snuffer thing.
Have we ever seen a wizard in sunglasses?
No, we haven't seen, but there's no sun in Scotland. Isn't it rainy
true.
every day or whatever?
Yeah, but it diffuses.
I've never been. Harry gets more gifts. Whatever, none of them matter, except for a giant box of Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. That matters.
Oh, no, like, you know, Bill and Flora gave him a nice razor, so he'll always have a baby soft face. Forever.
Yeah, on the road. I guess they don't know that he's planning to leave, but
Maybe
why
it's like a
wouldn't they?
wink, like, yeah, use this for shaving, and, you know, maybe
Well,
self-defense in a pinch.
And shanking.
Well, I think that was another, like, sexual joke. Because they said something like, just make sure to be real specific, you'll end up with less hair than you're expecting. I think they were talking about pubic hair.
Ooh. Yeah, actually.
Because it's a French razor.
It's a very French thing to... It's a very French gift.
Oh, wow. It is French, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That is very...
Two
interesting.
weirdly risque jokes in one chapter.
This is the grown-up book, guys.
Yeah.
Well, he is of age now.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to make very weird jokes.
I guess.
Still feels a little weird because he's 17. Maybe that's just, like, our country, but it's like he's still, like, a child.
He's still a child.
Not that 18 makes much of a difference.
In a perfect world, this would all be taking place on, like, his 25th birthday.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, he'd be pretty emotionally stable enough to deal with, like, you know, Wizard Hitler and the apocalypse.
I don't know. I ain't never met an emotionally stable 25-year-old man.
That's true. I was not one of them.
I ain't never seen it in my life. So speaking of gifts,
Sneakoscopes.
well, yeah,
Noel.
sneakoscopes, but I was going to talk about Ginny invites Harry into her room. I'm trying to be seductive.
And I love that his first thought is, oh, I've never been in here.
It's the inner
To be fair, that
sanctum.
would have been one of my dumbest
That would have been my
thoughts,
first
too.
thought. 100%.
He has entered her she shed. She is seducing him. For sure. It's undeniable. She kisses him very passionately.
It's undeniable, but except by him, who is completely oblivious to what's happening.
He's like, what? This is so passionate.
I hope you don't meet any Vila out there. Oh, I don't think there's going to be much time for that. We're going to be doing important stuff.
Can we dissect this? Can we dissect this word choice really quick?
Oh, let's do it.
What?
To describe the kiss, it was blissful oblivion.
Huh. Okay.
Is that how
and
you
what
would
do we-
describe?
Blissful oblivion. I mean, maybe like a real good makeout session.
Oblivion is the part that's like getting me.
I think she owes Blur money. Because that is way too close to... Blissful Oblivion, Beautiful Oblivion. It is right there.
Oh my god. We're coming for you, Joanne.
Wow.
That song was super popular in the 90s.
It
That
was.
bitch knows what she did.
It was playing in that pub. Like she wrote this in a fucking pub.
Blissful Oblivion does feel a bit lazy to me. I know that this book series very much shies away from its kissing scenes. We got a fade to black on the first kissing scene, which is so funny because you can have a kissing scene in like a PG or maybe even G-rated movie.
Yes.
You can, but it has to be like lips barely touch, like, meh.
I feel like it has to be mom and dad if you're going to do kissing in a G-rated movie.
The definition of oblivion. Wouldn't this mean he'd just be a really shitty kisser that's just like, oh, this is so nice? And like not participating in the kiss?
No,
This was-
oblivion means like an endlessness. It's like bliss. It's like it feels like it goes on
Okay.
forever
Oh,
because
right.
he's so blissful.
It does feel like it could go on forever, and he's describing how good her hair smells until good old big bro Ronald Weasley. This is like so disrespectful, and Hermione was like very obviously trying to prevent him from barging in, and they probably, if he just could work. Imagine Hermione physically blocking him, and Ron, instead of engaging with that flirtation of like, oh, am I going to get past you? He's like, no, I'm going to go stop my sister from seducing my best friend.
They're both over 17. Hermione should have just straight up stunned his ass.
Oh my god, that would be fucking funny, and I would support it.
She's a bro for both sides of that relationship. She would be like the best one to do it. Plus, it would teach Ron an emotional lesson to let adults be adults. Well, Ginny's not an adult, but you know what I'm saying.
Curse him with the dancing curse. I forgot what it's called, like Tangela or whatever.
Yeah.
Make him dance, and then he like can't get to the room.
Oh my god! Literally,
and he
my
can't
worst
be
nightmare.
mad because he's dancing.
What?
I can be mad and dance at the same time. I can do it.
Yeah, I've seen hardcore dancing.
Oh, okay.
People seem to love that. You have to have so much energy for it.
Oh.
I couldn't even do that. Like,
Now, the one dancing that I will say I don't think anyone could ever do while being sad is skanking. You put on some...
skanking?
Have y'all ever seen the dancing they do? It's like just for ska music. The like running in place type like dance thing.
Yes, very high energy.
Ain't no one gonna be frowning while skanking. That's not a thing. That just doesn't happen.
I skank every day, baby.
Different skank.
So Ron marches Harry outside, and Harry is just kind of like silently following Ron. And I was reminded of that scene in Twilight where, without a word, Bella walks into the woods and Edward just like follows her in silence, and they have this like unspoken agreement. That's what that reminded me of. But Ron marches Harry outside and starts yelling at him for, quote, messing her around, unquote, which is definitely a Britishism.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't have calmed him down by saying, "Well, she started it."
She stuck her tongue down my throat.
Nah, he should have gone the complete opposite way and been like, Ron, your sister is a beautiful sexual being. And to try and take that from her, wham, punch in the face.
Yeah, that's
on
a good way to
birthday.
get killed.
It was my birthday present, bro.
God. It was something to remember her by because she didn't want to overburden me with treasures. Like in Skyrim.
Ron, she had to give me this. Your family's poor. Don't you know anything? My God.
Oh my God, it's
You
all
only
she had
have
to
so
give.
few material possessions.
Oh my God.
I couldn't possibly.
Fucked up. I'm sorry. I always love the idea of like flipping the weird on people who are being shitty, right? Like, if you can make them uncomfortable, you've won. That might be a little far, though.
I'm just trying to kiss your sister. Why are you making it weird?
Listen, if you want to kiss her after I do, that's between you two.
Oh my.
Oh no.
West
Okay.
Virginia.
And we're done with that.
Mountain Mama.
Harry is like, it won't happen again. But like, honestly, he says it once, but he's like, you know, I didn't want to dump her. Like, neither one of us wanted this. And she came on to me, and I think that it's like, what do you want me to do, man? Like, what on earth would you do if you didn't want to dump her and then she fucking threw herself at you? Not Ginny, a woman.
I don't know, Ron. Let's turn this whole situation around a bit. What if, I don't know, Hermione were to start kissing you? What do you think you would do, big guy?
Wouldn't you just kiss her back, even if the circumstances were maybe a little, like, less than ideal?
You know, my only child friend, you might say, my sister in some ways. Yeah, what would you do?
But Harry says it won't happen again, which he probably is like, because I'm fucking running away in 2 days.
I might die, so it's not going to happen again.
It won't happen again
Oh.
until you're emotionally mature enough that you're not going to be mad at me dating your sister.
Yeah, for sure.
I did find it kind of like noticeable that it says, like, you know, after Ron comes up and breaks up everything, it says he looked at Ginny wanting to say something. He thought that she might have succumbed for once to tears.
Oh, yeah, and he hates crying.
He hates
as
crying.
We all know.
Wait,
Again, you missed that? Oh, that's what I liked about Ginny. She doesn't cry.
Oh,
That's the only thing he
God.
likes about her.
Oh, God. I don't like that.
I
Never
think
mind.
she might have been toughened up by having all these older brothers.
Fellas, get you a woman who doesn't cry, because then she'll never nag either, and you'll never have a problem in your life. I don't know.
Nothing says emotional stability in a partner like them never crying. That's normal for humans.
That's normal. Mm-hmm. We love when people don't cry.
Yep.
I mean, I get that it's his preference because he is traumatized and, like, literally doesn't know how to feel feelings. But it's whatever. It's
So,
like
of
his favorite
course-
thing about Ginny that she doesn't cry.
Well, like the counter argument to that, it's like, yeah, so of course she should like feed into that problematic existence and never try and improve himself or like work on it.
Yeah, just like creating this world where he doesn't have to be in touch with his emotions.
Create a series of walls that prevent anything from ever touching his emotions. Yay!
Yeah, Pink Floyd made a whole album about it.
Yeah.
It's the most British thing you can do.
Yeah, him and Ginny probably definitely don't end up in couples therapy.
And they don't need no education.
I also love the version of this story where like no one ever tells Ron that they are dating, like even after the war. And then like 4 years from now, Hermione's just like, wake up, Ron. We've got a surprise for you today, bud. What's that? You're going to a wedding. Who's getting married? Harry. But Harry's not dating anyone. Guess what, Big Bye? Got some news for you.
He sure is.
Guess who's also getting married today? Ginny. But Ginny's not dating anyone either. Okay, Ron, I'm just going to kind of stare at you for a few minutes until you put the 2 and 2 together.
He never will, Hermione. He'll never put it together.
No, he's so...
He's like, they're at the wedding. He's like giving a best man speech. Like, but Harry, seriously, who are you marrying? Why is Ginny up here too?
This is a weird joke. You're taking this
So
like
like,
really far.
when does the guy that Ginny's marrying come out? When does the person that you're marrying, when does that happen?
I didn't know
This
Ginny
seems
had a
weird.
boyfriend. This is weird.
Where's the part... I'm trying to remember... Where's the part where Ron is like complimenting Hermione and Harry's like, it's like Harry was sure that if he had opened
There would be a section
that book about charming women, I forgot what it's called, there would be a section about compliments.
They said you're really good at, what did you say she's really good at?
Oh,
Like
yeah, it's
something
like
stupid,
decorating.
like fucking
Yeah.
weeding or something.
It's like,
Yeah,
that's nice.
decorating.
That's nice. Hermione, you have a real
Oh,
knack
little
for that
Ron.
stuff. And and Harry's like, I wonder what chapter that was in the book.
Also, we kind of skipped over when Harry gives Molly a compliment. And Ron's
What?
like, great job. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently, Ron's okay with Harry being a weird thruple dad.
No, it's just practice. It's just, and it works on all women indiscriminately.
Yeah, it really
like
works
it
on
does. It could be a mom. It really works. Moms love to see you try just
you,
even
Harry.
the smallest bit. So they're doing Harry's birthday dinner outside because there's a lot of people who want to be there, and Molly has made this like giant snitch shaped birthday cake, which is very funny.
Okay, I need to point out that the way this scene is written, she brings in the cake, and then it says it took Harry a few seconds to realize what he was staring at, which means that kid saw the cake come in and went, Huh? Oh, it's a snitch! And everyone, it's a snitch.
He's a star Quidditch player. He's not a star student.
I'm just saying, we like to think that like a few seconds is not that long. And relatively speaking to the rest of things in our lives, it's not. But if you're recognizing, I don't know, the most important part of the game that you are a super special boy at, maybe you recognize
cake
it quicker
just doesn't
than
look
like
that good.
1.
Like his
Two.
whole
Doesn't
job.
look like a snitch, and it
3.
took him a minute.
Yeah.
His whole that's pretty funny. It doesn't actually look like it. But like his whole job literally is
I love it, Mrs. Weasley.
seeing the snitch with his eyes.
Yeah, a tiny snitch. A tiny little snitch. And this is a giant big
Maybe
snitch.
that's why he got confused, is because it was not
he's
tiny.
image blind to it. It can't be a snitch.
It just can't
too
be a
big.
cake.
Mrs. Weasley, I hate to tell you this, but your cake is very off size. It should be much smaller
gotta
if
fly
it's a
like that.
snitch. Maybe a personal cake. Scientists don't know how bumblebees fly. How could a snitch this big fly?
Everyone arrives. Hagrid is wearing his horrible suit, which this is not a suit wearing occasion, but that's fine.
Harry's birthday dinner, you bet your ass it's a suit wearing occasion. Plus, apparently this mother's just gonna camp out in a field. So like, he needs the suit for the
yeah.
wedding tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's the only thing he wore. He's gonna sleep in it.
Oh, I'm just gonna go find me a field, Harry. Don't worry. Da-di-da-di-da.
It's quite all right. I sleep in the nude. It's got to be a really big tent, by the way.
For For Taylor's wedding, as you both know, we're all sharing kind of small accommodations, and I literally have been planning on bringing my tent in case we need it. Tonks and Lupin arrive, and we notice that Tonks is happy while Lupin is grumpy.
She's specifically happy and glowing.
She's glowing. When do we use that word?
There's only one situation in the English-speaking world where anyone can ever be described as glowing.
No, there's two,
Radiation.
because sometimes when you just get a facial.
Yeah, isn't there stuff called like glowing serums?
Maybe.
For,
I'm
like,
not
your face?
good at
Maybe
that kind of
That's a Leo
thing.
question.
Yeah, that's not me. We're different. But she, as
Andrew,
we know...
are there glowing serums?
Yes, there are. It's part of the 12-step Korean facial program that everyone should be doing.
Put a pin on that.
Yeah, so we learn later that Tonks is... I guess that she just found out she's pregnant.
Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Is there a possibility that I'm pregnant?
Because they got married a couple days ago, or they got married like just before they retrieved Harry from the Dursleys, if I remember correctly, because Tonks was like, we just got married, right?
Oh yeah, it was just kind of sprung out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was random.
Like that Bruno Mars song.
What?
I think
Give me
I
a
want to
second.
marry you.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I was like, give me a sec. He has like 20 songs.
And like half of them are
probably-
about getting married.
Probably more than 20. So this is annoying to me because for a lot of reasons. One, we do learn later that Lupin, later what happens is Lupin comes to Harry and is like, Tonks had a baby, or like Tonks is pregnant and I'm like leaving her because she deserves like better. The baby deserves better than to have a werewolf dad. But like Tonks is pregnant right now and Lupin is not happy about it. And like, I don't know, man. Talk to your partner before you have kids. Like, that's fucked.
Everyone should be on the same page of that particular chapter.
Same page.
Yeah. If you're a doggy boy, maybe you should just, go to the vet and get neutered. So you don't have any werewolf babies.
Definitely figure it out before your husband like leaves you because he like so doesn't want to be a part of. I'm definitely not saying that Tonks is responsible for that. The language that I used was like maybe made it seem that way, but like, yeah, you just should be on the same page. I would never be pregnant knowing my husband didn't want it. You either need a different husband or you need to not have the baby. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's one thing to become pregnant. It's another to actively stay pregnant when you know that, like, not everyone wants that.
Yeah, and if you, like, want something different from your partner, you just, like, that's not the partner for you, babe.
Right. That should have
That's just what it comes down to.
Long before the pregnancy.
Yeah, so this whole situation, I mean, I can only imagine that he, like, acted like he'd be fine with it, and then... Maybe he was like, yeah, we can have kids someday. And then she was like, well, I'm pregnant now. And he was like, oh,
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
We're all working off the assumption that Lupin is, in fact, a decent dude. For all we know, this could just be the scene where we see the truth about Lupin, where he's like, ooh.
I kind of don't think he's a decent dude because of how he acts later in this book, trying to leave his kid. Like, I actually kind of don't think he's decent.
Yeah.
It's real easy for him to, like, take care of Harry, a kid he's, like, not responsible for outside of being, like, a teacher. You know what I mean? He
is the father of a child who... He, as the father, is a werewolf, and they named the child after another creature that famously has lots of hair. It's kind of weird, right?
Teddy?
Like teddy bears, right? Like,
yeah, interesting. I never
think...
thought of that because his grandpa's name is Teddy.
Yeah, that's a weak excuse. Oh, this person that we never met until now. Yeah, actually, his name's Teddy.
Teddy, Severus, Albus, Potter.
No!
Wolfric, Brian Dumbledore.
Brian Dumbledore.
The third.
Hagrid gives Harry a moleskin pouch where only the owner can retrieve stuff from inside. And you kind of get the impression that it's like on a cord. It's like wearable. And I think he wears it for like kind of the rest of the book.
Can I just say, possibly one of the coolest things that has been introduced in this whole series, and it's just
it is
the
pretty
most
cool.
casually given and casually received item like of the entire book.
It was like,
Yeah.
wow, a moleskin. Oh, I thought that could have come in handy in the previous books, Hagrid.
Yeah. Oh,
That's true.
Probably could have put a certain diary in there or something.
Oh my
like that.
god. Oh my god.
Or a certain sorcerer's stone.
Like, literally, it could have done so much for this series. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's like when they bring in, like, it's like bringing in the coolest stuff at the end of a sci-fi like show or movie series out of desperation, like time travel or something like that. Which, actually, JK, resorted to pretty early.
She shortened it and then she resorted to it again. Arthur's like still at work. He sends his Patronus a weasel. Come on.
it's so. This chapter might as well be called like On the Nose with Harry Potter.
Yeah, for real. Like,
What if it's just like a rhinoceros or something?
that would be
Barges
so
in.
funny. That would be so cool and funny. A
Everyone.
weasel.
Hide! The
A
minister's coming.
giant, like snorting, like aggressive rhinoceros.
Minister coming! Hide!
This reminds me of maybe like 10 years ago, they came out, I don't know who, came out with like a dramatization of J.K. Rowling's life. Like, it was like not a biopic, but it was biopic. I don't know what I'm doing. But it was like a dramatization, right? And it was like obviously like it was as if her life was always destined to lead to Harry Potter, which is like just not how lives are. And she like met this kid in high school, her like friend, and she was talking to him and she was like, "My, you are quite a Weasley fellow, aren't you?" And it was like, this is how J.K. Rowling got inspired for the name Weasley or whatever. And that's like what this feels like.
Which also, that wouldn't be a compliment.
That's not a compliment.
No, it's not, but he was a little Weasley, if I
You're
remember
such
correctly.
a Weasley fellow. I'm going to name the nicest fucking family after you.
Yeah. Yeah, the weasel thing is weird.
Well, weasels do have a lot of kids, I imagine. Right?
I don't
Then
know.
call them the rabbits.
The rabbits. That would be too
Rabbity
on the
babbity.
nose, Andrew. Especially since they're like a bit like Catholic coded, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Arthur's Patronus shows up to announce that Arthur's coming home and he's bringing home the Minister of Magic, Rufus Scrimgeour. So, is this the first time we've seen a Patronus deliver a message like this?
I think so. It's the first time I
It's
can
set
remember.
It's set up for the next chapter, the wedding, when we're gonna get like, because this message isn't important. They could have just shown up a little bit.
Well, wouldn't it's important to
Right.
get Lupin away. Lupin and Tonks.
Yeah, they flee immediately.
But wouldn't it have been great if there had been like a little note of like, the minister's coming with me. And Flora's parents had looked at each other and been like, oh my god, the minister. Oh.
I kept thinking about like how cool Fleur's family must truly be to be like, oh yeah, like we'll come stay in this already very claustrophobic house and like, yeah, we'll keep all your secrets. Like, we won't tell anyone that Harry Potter is here. Like, we get it. You guys are fighting the good fight. Like,
Hey, listen.
they really put up with a lot.
Listen, we saw the way that Fleur immediately accepted Harry after he saved Gabrielle, right? This is
Yeah.
a ride or die family, right?
I know, I love
This is a
them.
family of people that are like, "Oh,
Right.
you're
Yeah, that's a
you're
good
on my
point.
team? Yeah, we're on the same team." Like there is no like second effort. They just do it all.
I bet that the Delacours are the kind of friends who would really, really readily help you hide a body, you know?
Oh yeah. They're the ones who back when we were in high school, like if you had gotten pulled over and you had a bag of weed in the car, they would have like made it disappear where you don't even know where it is without you asking. And like you just picked them up. You just met them. You just met them like 30 minutes ago and somehow they knew where your bag of weed was and they hid it. And like as you're driving away, you're like, wait, I had a bag of weed. And they're like, nah, dog. And they like pull it out. And you're like, what? And they're like, yep.
Bro. I love you.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. They are that family.
Okay, well, I love that for them.
I love this hypothetical. Like,
I do too.
You know what delacour means in French? It means ride or die.
With cheese.
So Arthur and Scrimgeour show up. Scrimgeour is how... Scrimgeour
is a real name.
Scrimgeour.
He's here for a private word with Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And everyone's like, what? All of... And the idiots too? Not just Harry, the golden boy?
He's looking scragglier than normal too. They make it a point that he looks very much older.
Yeah.
And I was like, government
being the
jobs
president
do that.
will wear on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that it's really unreasonable. Like, if I were Arthur or Molly or any adult, maybe even Hagrid, like, I would be like, oh, you can't talk to them alone. Like, I'm coming with you.
Oh, they're 18 now? Then we're getting a lawyer.
Yeah. Like, I would never just let this conversation happen unsupervised.
So if, like, Donald Trump came in and told you, I need to speak with your kids, you wouldn't just let him?
I would probably laugh and shut the door.
You wouldn't let
so
Joe
hard.
Biden come in and just talk to your kids for a sec?
Under the advice of counsel, I will not say what I would do to Donald Trump if he showed up in my home.
Who's Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
So they go to the sitting room, and Scrim tries to send Harry and Hermione away so he can talk to Ron first, which is very funny. Obviously going for the weakest link first. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's like, this kid will tell me anything. He's an idiot.
You might as well call him Ronald Squealsley.
Ah! Have you been holding on to that one?
No.
Squealsley just comes to him. He's a genius.
I'm just jealous. That's beautiful.
So they say, no, you cannot send Ron away. I mean, Harry and Hermione away so you can grill Ron. No. And he's
Hell
like,
no,
absolutely
we won't
no.
go. Hell no, we won't go.
He's like, well, I guess that's all I can do then.
I'm not going to push my hand as the single most powerful person in this government quite yet.
I think he, like, knows that he hasn't, like, alienated Harry 100%, and I think he's trying to avoid Harry becoming, like, an outright enemy of his. Honestly, I think Harry, and I don't say this lately, I think Harry gives Scrimgeour too much shit.
What do you think?
Like, Scrimgeour is not the same guy who, like, he's like, he whips out his I must not tell lies scars and is like, you know,
right.
and he's like, but it's like, Scrimgeour didn't let Umbridge come do that stuff to you. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't agree with your methods either.
Well, but here's the thing.
I didn't do that.
To Harry's defense, it might seem that way, but he does reveal Scrimgeour to be the exact guy that he's, like, claiming him to be.
How so?
Well, Scrimgeour, who's supposed to have this, like, long, illustrious career in magical law enforcement, gets so mad with a kid not answering that within, like, 5 minutes, he burns a hole in the kid's shirt. Like,
might as well be a cigarette, right?
I'm just saying, like, like, I think the reality is Harry kind of summed this guy up pretty accurately and was like, no, fuck this.
Yeah. I guess I just kind of feel for Scrimgeour, like, he's in a bad position. He took the position knowing it was bad and knowing it would probably kill him, figuratively or literally. And he's like he's really trying his best. I think that I would perhaps Scrimgeour might have a bit more gumption than Biden.
Well,
a bit more muchness to him.
Here's my question. Has Dolores Umbridge been arrested?
No.
Then he hasn't done everything within his power to get Harry on his side.
You're right. I agree with that. She's, like, actively working at the ministry still, and, like, if Scrimgeour came to Harry today and was like, "Hey, I heard the thing you said to me last," because this isn't their first conversation,
right?
Like, I heard the thing you said to me last time, and Dolores Umbridge has been fired, and she's being investigated for cruelty to children.
Yeah. And because it's also not just Harry, right? There's like dozens of these kids that had literal torture performed.
Yeah, there's no way there's not like a lawsuit happening right now.
Yeah,
And
does it just like speak volumes of like what the British educational system used to be like or something? Like someone came from that, like someone like J.K. Rowling came from that system that was like pretty like abusive to kids.
Yeah.
Don't look
in
up what
this
the name of that
universe, like
system was.
abusing kids in schools is just kind of like accepted. You know, it's like, oh well, yeah, that's what you go to school for, is to get set straight and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do think that's kind of like old school, even by the time these books were being written. But
well, it's I don't want to be that guy, but like it is one of the things that's also going on in Korea right now. Is they're like going through that same shift of like teachers not being allowed to physically hit students, but like it still happens and people don't report it. Right? It's in that weird transitionary phase, right? Where like it's been on the books for a while, but it still doesn't always get reported. And so I think that if you really want to like, I don't know, if I were the one who was trying to recruit Harry Potter to my cause and like he had told me this one thing, I think I would have made it a pretty big point, even if it's just symbolic that I want him on my side, right? Because like, that's one of the things that I always kind of get the impression of with Scrimgeour is that I don't think he actually thinks Harry's the one that has to do this, but I do think he acknowledges that
nobody
Voldemort
thinks
is
Harry's
bad.
the one who has to.
He's just very, very highly suspicious of what these three kids' roles are in this whole plot.
And even then, justifiably so in a way. Right? Like, why did this crazy old, super wise, super popular guy designate these three kids? Right? That would be fucking weird.
It
Ron's
is really
the biggest,
dumb and
like,
weird.
The biggest, like, red flag. It's like, why are you giving something to him?
Yeah, totally. Well, and
like, I don't know, we
even
talked a
Ron
couple
feels
times.
the same way. Yeah. There's some line in here about, like, them trying to act like Ron, or like Harry wondering if Ron had ever uttered a single word to Dumbledore or vice versa.
Right.
Scrimgeour is like, I bet you know why I'm here. The will. And they're like, well,
yes. Of course.
They're so bad at hiding their feelings that they look at each other and Scrimgeour is like, oh, so this is a complete shock to you.
Yeah.
Well, it is a month after he died.
Well,
right?
And we'll get to that, yeah. So
it's 32 days.
It's been 32 days.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so Dumbledore left something for each of them in his will, and yes, Harry's like, why did it take so long? And it's because they were examining the contents, and basically Hermione says, like, your grounds weren't sufficient to hold these things, and it's been 31 days, and now you're legally required to hand them over to us because you didn't find any grounds for, like, further inspection here. So Scrimgeour starts grilling them about why Dumbledore left them stuff, and luckily the kids have no fucking idea.
We passed over one of the best jokes of the entire series. Though.
What?
The Miss Granger, do you want to have a future in law or in magical law?
Magical law.
Oh,
she
yeah.
goes, no, I want to do something important that'll matter with my
God.
life. Oh,
I'm hoping to do some good in the world.
Yes.
Oh, mic drop. Just walk out the room at that point.
It's really good.
She then waved her wand and sunglasses just descended down on her face. And Scrimgeour, being a wizard, had never seen sunglasses and didn't know what this meme was.
I was going to say, didn't we decide they were way too high tech?
Beautiful.
So Hermione is lying and acting like Dumbledore like really loved them all, not just Harry. And I think nobody buys this for a second.
Well, and I love that it's even written weirdly.
Like, even on a best day, Dumbledore was, like, at best a little aloof with Harry. And, like, the other two, even less.
Yeah.
It's written in a really weird perspective, though, because when Hermione's like, oh, Ron, don't lie, Dumbledore loved you. Harry thinks to himself, like, well, that's stretching the truth a little much. Why, man? Just lie.
Like,
just lie. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Zero consequences for lying here.
Yeah, and Hermione just said, fuck the police.
Yes,
so.
ACAB. She just looked Scrimgeour in the face and went, A-C-A-B, bitch.
Yeah, all cops are balloons.
As in, I want to inflate them and then just let go.
Full of hot air. So Ron gets the deluminator. Scrim's still be grilling, but we don't know what the hell's going on either, so.
Yeah.
Hermione gets the Tales of Beetle the Bard, and she starts weeping over it, which Harry hates. It's not stated in the text, but we can infer from his previous hatred of crying.
As he looked, a tear splashed onto the embossed symbols.
Which was confusing to Harry. Aren't her parents dentists? She should know pain. She shouldn't have to cry.
Why do you cry? You were just given a gift. What?
Gifts bring happiness.
Those things I never got when I was younger.
Oh my god. No, he got a tissue. He got a tissue from the Dursleys that one time.
Hermione, cheer up. I bet you could fit 40, 50 coat hangers in that book.
Wait, what?
He got a bent coat hanger one year as a gift.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, did
okay. Yeah, you're right. I was like, what on earth? Are we back to talking
Man, you're
about
asking-
abortion again?
No.
Okay, Harry gets the snitch. Scrim is like, why is there a snitch here? And you have a snitch birthday cake? And Hermione laughs in his face and is like, is it because he's an athlete?
This thing that's mentioned in
Coincidence?
every single article about him.
Yes,
It's like his
the
defining
only...
personality trait in a lot of
Yes.
situations.
He defeated the Dark Lord, and he is the youngest
sport boy.
seeker in a century.
Yep.
Not
Now-
just that, he's quarterback of the football team.
Yeah. They don't even have one, but they made the
Like
position
Flash
just for
Gordon or
him.
something.
And he was Quidditch captain last year.
All right.
Well, for
Yep.
part of the year.
So we learned that snitches have flesh memories.
Which,
First of all,
okay.
ew. Nope. First of all, ew.
Second of all, wouldn't be useful.
My next question was why.
They try and make this claim about because if two people are arguing over who got the snitch, which first of all, shouldn't be an argument. It's about whose hand it ends up in, right?
Yeah.
But we've seen it in the movies, how they'll like jostle each other's hands and barely get it. Are you telling me there's never been a situation where someone has like almost gotten it and like touched it with their fingers
Touched
and then
it,
it
yeah.
zoomed
Definitely.
away before they could grab it? Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because, well, obviously I'm going to be confused, but because this wasn't thought out.
It's because
But,
J.K.
like,
Rowling doesn't
I
understand
just always
sport.
thought like they just reused snitches,
Yeah,
especially
it's
since
really dumb and weird.
because like I mean, not to like be like, but they did it in the movie, but in like the Sorcerer's Stone movie, like Oliver Wood brings out this huge big fucking trunk full of something, and it only has one snitch in it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's in the
And
book
it's-
too, isn't it?
That's the
Well, yeah,
practice
but doesn't that
snitch.
seem like you wouldn't? It just seems like you reuse a snitch like over
Yeah.
and over.
It's like insane to not reuse the snitch.
Yeah, why would the like flesh memory thing be permanent? Why would it be useful in any other time after a match is over?
Assuming
it's
it was
very
useful,
weird.
which it
Yeah.
probably wasn't.
It could be
probably
like
wasn't.
I see it as like a last resort, you know, kind of like the camera in a horse race, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, tooth and nail, like who,
But here's
which
the thing.
also like is a little confusing because they wear gloves, but
Well, two things. First of all,
Oh my god, they do wear gloves in their Quidditch uniforms in the
but
movie.
good thing Harry
Yeah.
didn't use his glove.
first of all, horse cameras. That camera actually is useful because it always shows who's ahead at the finish line.
Yeah.
Right? This doesn't always show. The first person to touch it is not guaranteed to be the first person to grab it, right? To like actually get a hold on it. And second of all, like, I don't know, why do you need to wear gloves when you're making it? That doesn't seem like he like really focused. Like they wear gloves when they're making it. They don't even touch it then. You have magic. Like, I'm not impressed by wearing gloves if you have magic.
Yeah.
You telling
What are
me,
they, magical
actually,
gloves?
I'm kind of less impressed because that implies that even with magic, you have to like have physical, like dexterous.
It's like you can't just turn a snitch off.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, what on earth?
why does it imprint on you like a baby?
Oh my god. He was imprinted on the snitch the whole time.
Oh my god,
He wasn't even in love with Bella. So Harry takes the snitch, but it doesn't react. Like the flesh memory, bleh, that phrase is like, bleh, but it doesn't react to him.
Yeah,
something,
because,
there's something else here.
You know how, like, your hand isn't part of you, right? So, like, your hand isn't part of you and your mouth is. So, like, even though you caught it with your mouth, you have to touch it with your mouth. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it...
Get to the part where he...
Yeah, well... Wait, what part?
Where he kisses it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, before
Put your lips on the ball, Harry.
But before he kisses it, Dumbledore leaves some...
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Okay.
Okay.
Were you going to talk about the Sword of Gryffindor?
No, I was going to say that Dumbledore leaves some shade in the will because he says to show the value of perseverance and of skill. I bequeath you like the first snitch you ever caught. Literally, that is going to be the time in his career that he had the least skill and the least perseverance. It is the first ever match.
Yeah, that's true.
That should be a complete and Hermione's like, why didn't he leave us any clues? That's a clue. That is 100% a clue because that is not accurate in the least. If he left him the most recent snitch that he caught, yeah, that would be perseverance.
Wait,
what's
the clue? What's the clue?
In the will, he says to show you the importance or like the value or something like that of perseverance and of skill. And like I said, if this was the first ever match, it would have been the least amount of perseverance he ever would have had because he'd only been doing it for like a few weeks. And it would have been the least amount of skill that he ever would have had.
But what is the clue?
That's just
that's
like
the
a
clue
bullshit.
because obviously it's not accurate.
What is the clue saying?
I'm saying that's meaningless. That can't be what
is
it's
it a
actually
clue or is
for.
it like a kind of like a little
okay.
wink? Like this is
right. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like a wink.
Okay.
It's like think about this more because it clearly isn't going to be about skill and perseverance. It's the first ever one.
I feel you.
Does that make sense?
I got you. Yeah. It does. It's not a clue. It's saying look for further clues.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's
in the most vague way possible to not make.
It's a very roundabout way of like saying this sentence is not accurate. So look for something that could be.
I feel you. It's like how it's like when people talk about like how you'll know I've been kidnapped. it's like, hey Sean, I just wanted to say thanks so much for not leaving any shoes on the ground. I love having a wide open floor with nothing to trip over. He'd be like, are you okay? What's happening to you?
Oh my God, are we getting a divorce? What's happening?
There's always shoes on the floor. It's like red alert.
It's just like your I've been kidnapped phrase. I love the shoes on the floor, Sean. Say it really quick.
Or like I'll tell him you should really wear the Adidas hoodie. Right? Is it is this very old Adidas hoodie that faded from black to brown? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Harry also gets the Sword of Gryffindor, but Scrimgeour is like, you can't have it because it belongs to the school or the ministry or whatever. Also, we don't know where it is, so you can't have it.
You can't have it anyway.
You can't have it under any circumstance. You cannot have it in a tree. You cannot have it with a flea.
Yeah, so Harry shouts a bit. This is when Scrim pulls his wand and singes Harry's shirt. Molly and Arthur come running in. It's about time. This child is in your care.
Before he singes Harry, I thought it was pretty funny. A pretty funny quip on Harry's part to be just like, IDK. Has anyone ever thought of just using a sword against Voldemort?
That was pretty good too.
He's so sassy. I love him.
And then it just kind of brings up that whole like just get a gun like point of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Hey, you know those
see
muggles?
How that does, yeah,
you know those muggles that you don't respect? Pow! Oh, look. That dude was like half a mile away with a 50 cal and your head just turned into mist.
He didn't even have to say he didn't even have to say any silly magic words or nothing.
Oh, you know that sniper would be sitting there pulling the trigger and say like Avada Kedavra. Like bam. Oh, that would be amazing.
So when Scrimgeour gets up to leave, he says, I regret your attitude, which I love that little line. It's so cunty. And Harry flashes his I must not tell lies scar, and so that's that. And Scrimgeour leaves.
Oh, look, it's my infinite moral superiority pass.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's either I must not tell lies or, sorry, my parents are dead.
I was just going to say the parents are dead thing.
It's like that. You just get anyone will shut up. You can get anyone to shut up, including the Minister of Magic.
Damn it, Harry, we can't say anything bad about you. You just keep bringing up the dead parents.
And Harry goes, correct.
Correct.
It's like, don't make me use the hand scar again. Don't make me use it.
Don't make me give you the back of my hand, except it's not violence. It's literally where it says, I must not tell lies.
It's a reminder. So they go back to the birthday dinner. They pass around all these items, trying to suss them out, but like nobody else has any other ideas. Nobody knows what is happening here.
If only one of the items was threatening Ginny in some way. Then Molly Weasley would have a burst of like capable amazingness and be like, well, clearly this is the solution.
Not my daughter, you bitch!
Not my daughter, you book!
You bug! So they do dinner, they do the cake, everyone goes to bed, but the trio goes up to Ron's room to debrief.
Which, like, if you're Molly, and they go up to Ron's room, you know they're talking about doing something, right? Like, there's no scenario in which Harry Potter and his two best friends aren't considering, how are we going to do the work of the late Professor Dumbledore?
Well, Hermione has to sneak up there, though. So Molly is, like, in theory, doesn't know that Hermione's up there. She can't keep Ron and Harry away because they're both sleeping in that room together.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Giving hard, skeptical hippo eyes to this whole scenario, though.
And Ron just keeps turning the lights on and off.
I mean, if nothing else, she's probably
Which
just
I would
fucking...
too.
If nothing else, she's probably just fucking exhausted. She's literally, like, from what I can see, single-handedly planning this wedding.
Oh my god, throwing a wedding at your own house sounds like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and it's tomorrow and she's exhausted. So she's like, let them cahoot. See if I care.
Come on, how much worse could it
see
get?
If I fucking care.
How much worse could it get? I'm just gonna make it through this wedding and then we can worry about the tree. Fuck!
Yeah, so they're examining the deluminator, and it works, but like why? Like the why is the question. They're a bit frustrated that Dumbledore left them like less than no clues. In fact, in his will, he bequeathed to them only more questions. Mm-hmm. Harry reminds Hermione that he like ate the first snitch he ever caught, so this is when he kisses it. And much like when I went out on a limb at my 7th grade formal, he gets nothing in return. JK, there's right. Oh, triggered by the letters JK. Just kidding. There's writing on it now. It says, I open at the close in Dumbledore's handwriting.
Awesome.
Wait, I actually have a question real quick. In my notes, I didn't make it clear. Does Harry say that's Dumbledore's handwriting? Or is it just... Oh, no, it does say.
Yeah, he knows.
The thin, slanting handwriting that Harry recognizes Dumbledore's. Because a couple times... I think this hasn't happened since, like, one of the first 3 books. But a couple times, like, the textbook, the print book, has given away stuff based on the font choice. It's actually... It was literally the first fucking book. When Harry gets the invisibility cloak and there's a letter that is, like... This was your father's whatever. And it's in, like, the Dumbledore font.
Yeah.
Which I guess you wouldn't know if you're reading it the first time.
Well, and it would be a little hard for Harry not to know his handwriting at this point, because he's gotten all the different, like, memos last year about, come to my office.
Mm-hmm, yeah. We don't know what open and the close means at all. Like, they got nothing. That's just what somehow... became even more of a question. Thank you so much, Dumbledore.
Like a Walmart.
What?
I open at the close. I'm trying to think of like.
Oh my god, Walmart.
I don't know. That's not even a good one.
Fucking Ouroboros.
Wait, what?
Ouroboros, the snake eats its tail. The world serpent.
Oh, right.
His mouth opens at the close of the circle.
And Harry's a parcel mouth, so they just go to zoos for the rest of his life.
Oh my god.
Starting at the most famous zoos and looking for this and everywhere.
Telling the snakes to eat their tails.
Yeah, and just like that platform guard in the first book who's like, what are you on about? When he's like, I need platform 9 3/4.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
the porter.
they're going up to all these zookeepers like, I need an Ouroboros. And they're like, that's not a thing,
We don't
man.
do that here.
That would be a deeply unhealthy snake, okay?
So Hermione has never heard of Beetles the Bard. Beetles the Bard. Just one
Tales
beetle?
of Beetle the Bard.
One beetle. I wrote Beatles. The Beatles. So Hermione
The Tales
and
of Ringo, John.
So Hermione and Harry have never heard of these, but Ron is quite familiar, and there never ever before has been a book that Ron has read and Hermione has not, and everyone is shocked.
I know, it took 7 books to get to this point.
Honestly, I'm trying to think, like,
7 years of friendship.
Probably there's no books that Sean has read that I haven't, other than, like, and this is the difference, is they had, like, the same education, basically, because he's definitely read some, like,
engineering textbooks.
yeah, engineering textbooks, but you know, outside of that, there's probably not a book that he has read and I have not. So I get it. That would be cool to find that. But Beetle the Bard, it's like kids stories, like Hans Christian Andersen, like they're just kids stories. It's all very mystifying. It's like, why the fuck?
Oh yeah, Cinder who?
Yeah.
What is that? Some sort of disease?
So they're like, we were confused in front of the minister, now, and then we were confused in front of the whole family, and now we're also confused privately. We really don't know what's going on.
I do love the like continual optimism. Like maybe we'll get it at some point.
Yeah,
Ron is just
like,
me in this situation. It's like, guys, what if he was just crazy the whole time? What if he just took us all for a ride?
I mean,
and
for
we just
real,
look like
though.
the biggest suckers.
It turns out
Yeah.
that Dumbledore is just like successful Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like he's absolute batshit crazy, but he actually got successful somehow, and no one realized it.
Remember the Bob's Burgers episode where he gets kidnapped on a cruise
I watched that today.
by the crazy cat? Oh, really funny.
I watched
And,
that today.
And, okay, so you know what I'm talking about. When, like,
Sure
at the very
do.
end, he comes in and he like appears to whisper something in Bob's ear.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "What did he say?" It's like, "Nothing. He just burped."
He just burped.
And I picture Albus Dumbledore, like kind of like that.
Yes.
It's like, what does this clue mean? What are all these messages? Nothing.
Nothing. He just burped.
No, because if Dumbledore just burped, then it would mean that you'd have to go into his office where he keeps his Alka-Seltzer, and then under the Alka-Seltzer, there'll be like a riddle written in runes, and then you'll take the riddle in runes, and then it'll all loop back to something you already had in your possession.
That's enough.
Do you think if you write a howler note that you can just like write burp and it like burps as you? Or you can like record your burp in there?
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because I would like to be able to customize it.
Yeah.
So in this chapter, we have only questions and just less than 0 answers. Andrew, we've been joking that you are only coming on for boring episodes this book, and while this certainly was about yet another legal document, well, I guess the first one was an obituary, so that's not legal, but it's death related. I do think that this chapter had a lot more going on than just that. What do you think?
Oh, then just the extended story of the obituary? Yeah, it did. It did. It had a awkward kiss between a child and a newly minted adult.
Well, don't make it that way. They're only a year apart. That makes it sound really bad.
It had a very well-established law enforcement officer decide to lose his cool.
Assaulting a kid.
Assaulting a child, virtually a child.
It was a gift exchange.
Yeah. It has a brand new spell that will only be relevant one more time.
Which one?
The little, like, Patronus message thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a lot going on. A lot
Chapter
going
is
on.
everything. It's got flesh memory.
It really does.
Which actually sounds like something Stefan would say, so.
Exactly. There's
It's that thing where.
There's 7-year-old balls that you just put on your lips for a second and it reveals a message to you.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Stefan, the SNL character.
I don't.
This
Oh,
club
it's like
has
like
everything.
Bill Hader's character where he wears like the like,
bleach
on the
blonde
weekend
or
update.
not bleach blonde.
This club has everything. Men with biscuit knees.
Human
Mom,
traffic cones.
exit signs. I don't know.
Huh, cool joke.
And then on the third one,
Wow.
Seth always asks, "Well, what's that?" And then he like goes on to describe something incredibly like offensive / awkward / creepy and weird.
This one's just not translating because I haven't seen it.
That's funny.
Genuinely, your loss.
That's fine.
That's a bit, yeah. But I mean, you would like them. They're funny.
Well, that's the end of the chapter. Does anyone have any final words? Like anything we didn't get to, or any favorite moments?
I just really now can't get the image of Hagrid setting up a tent in the middle of a field and like coming out of it at 10 a.m. and stretching in the nude and some poor non-magical person seeing a literal half giant appear out of nowhere, stretch, and then go, "Oh, blimey," and go back into his tent and like
a tent that it seems like he could not possibly fit into.
A tent that looks like, I'd imagine it looks like that classic like childhood tent that's like the one like the triangle with two sticks holding it up type deal.
Oh, right.
It's definitely not as high tech of a tent as we make these days because the wizards hate technology.
Yeah, he doesn't even have an Ozark Trail tent. That's how
like my tent pops up. Like it pops up, y'all.
I just love that Hagrid needs to get up and do a wind bath in the morning. Benjamin Franklin style.
Yeah, I guess he's on the moors.
Hello, Harry.
Yeah, seriously, someone would see him and just be like, okay, Bigfoot's in the moors now. We got werewolves and Bigfoot.
Hagrid doing his wind bath every morning is where 95% of the Bigfoot sightings are actually coming from. He lives outside Portland after everything went down. He's in the Pacific
That's how you know
Northwest
spring's
now.
coming.
Yeah, when Hagrid goes outside for his wind bath and doesn't get scared by his shadow.
Cool. Well, let's move on to plugs. I would love to start by plugging our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the pod and support BBR a little bit. And also our net proceeds get donated to organizations that benefit trans youth. For the past couple of years, we've been donating to Camp Lilac, which is literally a camp for trans and gender non-conforming, questioning youth to go have a safe space. So signing up for the Patreon is definitely worth it. And for the $5 a month and up tiers, this month's May's bonus episode is small, medium, or large with Phil. Andrew, you are on that one. It's very fun and extremely nonsensical, so I think y'all would enjoy it. Please consider signing up to support us. Jason, where can the people find you online?
Listeners can find me on Instagram at Negative Selections. I mostly use it these days as just a way to showcase my photography work that keeps me sane.
Yeah, hell yeah. And what's something you've been reading, playing, watching, listening to lately you think the listeners would enjoy?
I've been reading the Dune series. I'm on Children of Dune right now.
Oh, cool.
Really enjoying it. I've been listening to a lot of Foster the People's first album, Torches. I don't know if you guys ever used to listen to them. But but you know how I made you guys watch Stop Making Sense? The Talking Heads movie?
Yeah, I loved that.
And the mission statement of the Talking Heads is, or not mission statement, but the way to explain them has always been dance music for people who can't dance. And that's how how I feel about Foster the People's that album, the one with pumped up kicks and all that stuff. It's just good. It's just good dance music. It's made by nerdy people.
Cool. Hell
So,
yeah.
I would recommend that.
Awesome. Andrew, what are you recommending this week?
Well, recommending is a weird word. My dad's been having me watch, or requesting that I watch, what is that shit called? Three Body Problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
And good is not the word that I would use. Interesting's not even the word, but it's a thing.
Oh, no.
And I don't know. It's not, I don't regret watching it. That's
Dude,
about
you're not,
as,
this is the worst plug ever.
listen, I try and I
Listen, everybody, my dad liked this.
He did. He loved it. He loved it. My mom loved it too. So maybe you'll like it more than I do.
We read the book for our April book club, the DXM book club. If you join our Patreon at any tier, you can have access to that. We read that together and watched the first couple of episodes together. So all I can say is if you are only going to do one, do the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks for the rec, she put in quotes.
Yeah,
Listen, I
more
can give you
sounded like
recs that I like, but like I get told not to bring that stuff up. So
I never tell you not to bring K-pop up. You can plug any K-pop shit you want on the show.
it's not K-pop. It's it's First Responders. It's a great drama if you're looking for something.
Oh yeah, I think you told me about that one.
It's interesting. It's
ooh, okay.
yeah. So there.
Thank you.
Something you actually like. Good job.
Yeah.
Since our last episode, I finished reading The Husband's Secret. I think I was in the middle of that during our last recording. That's Leanne Moriarty. Just like Desperate Housewives, like drama shit. Not even desperate. Just regular housewife shit. I really like her books. She wrote Big Little Lies, which was that HBO show. I also read Everless by Sarah Holland, which is like a YA fantasy about in a world where time is money and money is time. So that was cool.
Oh, right. You told us about this. We were like the Justin Timberlake movie, right?
Yeah. It was like a fun, like very
Like
basic
10
YA.
years ago.
It's the beginning of a series. I also reread The Outsiders, which was so random, by S.E. Hinton. Yeah, extremely random. A good throwback. I haven't read that in literally 20 years.
Does it hold up?
I mean, it was good. It was crazy. I mean, if I last read it when I was 12 and I'm reading it now, and it's about a bunch of children who are like smoking and getting into fights and like none of them have parents. It's like I felt a lot more anxious reading it than I probably did when I was 12.
You're like, oh no, stop that. Don't do that.
I keep saying there's this part in the book where like Pony Boy, he's been smoking like a pack a day. He's 14 and some adult, he gets like into the situation where he's like with an adult, which never ever happens. And the adult is like, you're too young to smoke that much. And Pony Boy literally has never heard this in his life. And he's just like, what? I am? It's crazy.
I like how the adult tells the child, you're too young to smoke that much. Like, clearly, if you only had like 5 to 6 Chesterfield cigarettes, then you would be doing a great thing for your Q zone.
Look, nothing takes the edge off of a shift at the coal mines like a nice cigarette. But, 2 a day, Junior.
I've also been reading and really enjoying The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu. This is actually the man who translated The Three-Body Problem from Chinese into English.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, so this is his compilation of short stories, and I'm really liking it a lot. It's like sci-fi fantasy. Without being like too cerebral, sometimes short stories can be kind of lofty in a way that like I can't really understand. And one of these short stories was adapted into an episode of Love, Death, and Robots, which is an extremely good show.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that a lot. Have not finished yet. We'll keep you posted. I also just got The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros from my library, so I look forward to reading that soon, and I'll keep y'all posted on my progress.
nice.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks so much to the both of you. I appreciate you coming on to talk about the will of Albus Dumbledore.
Dun, dun, dun. Wiggity, 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 wow.
That's it, potheads. Thanks for listening to The Restricted Section. Hosted and produced by me, Christina Kahn. Theme music produced by Ryan Kahn. Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Please don't find us on social media. I am not doing anything there. However, you are welcome to join our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can gain access to our Discord server, which is a lot of fun. And for $5 a month, you get access to our monthly bonus episodes. There's also a $10 and a $20 tier as well. So please go check that out. We are honored to be part of Deus Ex Media Podcast Network, which features lots of wonderful podcasts for nerds, including this one.
Charlie, I'm so glad I found you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. The break was hard, but I'm not injured.
Thank the gods. What do we do now?
Okay, Ray, I need you to listen to me. There's only one book left. And I know it's going to be hard. but we have to get through it.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna run out and start reading.
Good plan. Okay. I'll start emailing guests.
Charlie, no! You're an introvert!
It's okay. I can do this.
Remember me, Charlie!
I love you, buddy!
For Rick!
Check out Of the Eldest Gods. Episodes every Thursday, now covering Book 5 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The Last Olympian.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm recovering from a slightly too spicy curry that made me cry. You know how that goes?
Oh, no.
I love that cry, though. That, snot coming out your nose.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it was a sneaker, for sure. It's like, you don't really notice it, and then a couple bites in, you're like, wait a fucking second.
I said a slightly too high 1 to 4 digit to this person of some different ethnicity, and now I am paying for it.
Dave X Media.